the sixth sense, if you will.
Welcome back to Onondaga Nation Arena, lacrosse fans, as USA Blue and the Onondaga Redhawks square off in the Lax All-Stars North American Invitational here in Syracuse, brought to you by Nike. I'm Chuck Jaffe. I'm joined by Steven Stamp. And, Steven, when they put the USA here, what they also did is made sure that knocking off the USA became the biggest prize for every other team. So nobody's done it to either USA Blue or White, but Redhawks have a chance here tonight, don't they?
They do, and this is the first real competition either USA team has faced was tonight, because they were playing against younger teams, throw together teams, but today they get real challenges.
So the USA gets the first option on attack. Quick shot there, Kieran McArdle. And then down low on the rebound, however, stop is made by Warren Hill, and the Redhawks get their first attack.
That's looking to me like that might be Mike Thompson in net. I know they were talking about the numbers. We're going to have to look into that. I will check that and make sure.
Well, I can tell you, as an announcer, Mike Thompson has fooled me before where I thought it was him and it wasn't. In this case, I'm just going to go by the jersey numbers, which has been a dangerous thing to do a little bit at LASNAI. But Tim Edwards pushed to the ground. Can't come away with it. Redhawks get the ball. Marty Bose putting the pressure on, and Marty Bose gets the check away. Ball comes back to Brett Manny. Brett Manny, of course, from the New England Black Wolves. Shoots from the outside. Ball bounces around, and Bose picks it up.
Ball touched the ceiling, so it'll be turned over, and Warren Hill is on the bench running a door. Didn't think that was his helmet, so Hill with his helmet off on the bench running the defensive door, so that'd be Mikey Thompson.
So Mikey Thompson.
I love Mikey Thompson.
Just joined the team, was just put onto their roster for this game. A name NLL fans will recognize. So here come the Redhawks. Man up opportunity. So this game getting chippy already.
And Donnie Moss isn't going to back down, but you do not want to get into this. Ron Cogan will try and draw you in here. Terrific guy. He is a bit of an agitator out there.
Yes.
And Donnie Moss can't get himself involved there.
Well, but what you had before that was offsetting roughing penalties.
Mm-hmm.
So that's still sorting itself out, basically, as both teams trying to make sure. And there's a lot of off-ball play. I mean, just guys running through before a whistle had blown. Lots of contact down low.
Connor Kelly kind of got that going on this one as he ran straight into someone.
Save there. Kelly took that shot, but square into the logo on the chest of Mikey Thompson. Haigoa Brown loses that ball, taken away by Adam Osika. Osika moves it forward. Penalty coming to the Redhawks. Ball comes in front, shot there. McArdle shot. So we'll see what the penalty is. It's an illegal substitution. An illegal substitution against the Redhawks gives the U.S. its first man-up opportunity. Now we still have Donnie Moss.
Very vigilant with the too many men all weekend, and of course the NLL using this as a training and tryout process for their officials, so they're being really assiduous.
Do you think they've been maybe too assiduous?
Yes, I do.
In other words, it's being called when there's no advantage gained.
Yes.
And no disadvantage to the other team.
Yeah, another penalty coming here.
So the U.S., with a one-man, they should be shooting this ball to get a two-man advantage. Now they do.
100% you got to get that shot off, and you can hear the call coming from the bench. Now there's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty coming.
And again, what is Kieran McArdle doing? He's not hustling after the ball. You're wasting time. The clock is running. You've got a 2-man advantage. And he didn't hustle after the ball. They're going to wind up giving away all but 7 seconds of it. So it's 4-on-3, but they're set up in a 5. McArdle doesn't stay out. You have the best passers in the world, and you basically butchered that. So now it's just a 1-man advantage. McArdle takes the shot there.
It is the 2 minutes, so 1:44 left on the penalties.
So a 2-minute penalty to Junior Bucktooth. And there's a score from the outside.
And it is 2 separate 1-minute penalties, of course. We're having 1-minute penalties this weekend. So that releases the first, but Junior Bucktooth will stay in there. And his second penalty won't actually, I don't think they'll remove the first one and let the next one start until play resumes.
Right. Because the clock is running, you don't start a penalty until. So they will adjust and start a new 1-minute penalty fresh as we approach the 9:15 mark.
Nice communication by the two refs. One of them clear that the penalty was going to go up when play started. The other not sure, so they let each other know.
So it was Kelly with the goal. McArdle back at the point. Dylan Donahue gets that over. Fed in front. McArdle stopped. Nice loose ball right in front of the cage.
Great patience on the defensive zone to not rush that, recognizing how much time you have before you have to pass that ball out.
So transition there. Able to hold it, trying to kill the man down. Loses possession in front, but a shot there. And we have a penalty on the U.S., so great effort there. It was Matt Noble who was working to kill that penalty, able to do it and draw the foul.
So they do have to wait until play resumes before Junior Bucktooth can leave. So but Onondaga will get a fifth runner out there immediately.
So yes, they go back. Bucktooth had to leave the bench. Brett Manny, however, is in the box for the USA. And there's an answer from the Redhawks. As some pinpoint passing on the man up, they waited all of 18 seconds to be able to bang that one home.
And people talk a lot about north-south passing versus east-west passing, but Onondaga, really nice job going northeast to southwest on that one.
So what we're saying is cross the crease on the diagonal. For
the
that.
diagonal, I like it.
For those who are directionally challenged. So we're back to the dot on the faceoffs. Tim Edwards taking draws, which he does, but it's going to be an interesting thing for Team USA, where you have the other Team USA with Trevor Baptiste, a true faceoff specialist. So USA will have to decide if they want to use one of those. Fed in front and across. Nice tic-tac-toe passing there. The extra pass from Dylan Donahue sets it up. And that's Connor Kelly. Yeah, that is Connor Kelly finishing.
It is Connor Kelly, and boy, he's a guy trying to establish his box lacrosse bona fides and doing a pretty good job this weekend, tonight in particular, with a couple of really nice goals that show some great sharpness in close quarters.
So Kelly has both USA goals.
And we've matched the scoring from the USA Whites game a little earlier against the Frog Pond Maulers.
In the first 9 minutes, we have matched the scoring because the final in USA White's game against Frog Pond Maulers was 2-1. A game that was decided in the waning seconds. Davey Emola with the ball. Emola high right. Again, lots of off-ball action. Emola's shot knocked away before it ever got there, was tipped. McArdle comes away with it, or can't come away with it. Looked like that should have been an easier scoop, but McArdle couldn't handle it, so it's the Redhawks going back on the attack.
One thing about this carpet, it's very grabby. It'll grab the head of your stick. If you're reaching out with one hand like that, like McArdle had to, it can actually make your skip kind of stick and can be harder than you'd think.
Kogan got free to take the shot, but they said he stepped in the crease. He left behind some padding as he was running off.
We've seen a few pieces of gear left on the turf. I saw one player lose a shoe and keep playing.
Well, it's their responsibility to get it back eventually because the refs aren't following it. Nice stop there. Connor Kelly feeling it with 2 goals, but that's not going to do it against a goalie like Mike Thompson. So that drop pass on the left side. 2-man game there. And we're going to have a penalty coming up to the U.S. Ball kicking around in the corner. So it looks like they're sending Brett Manny again. Brett Manny for the hold. Manny not pleased. He didn't really think he was holding the stick, but.
I think he's saying there was also some withholding going on that made him need to kind of open things up with a little bit of a tug.
It was diagonal passing on the last man up right away. This time from the outside, sticked away by Goa Abrams. So the U.S. has already now taken as much time. Abrams again with the stop. So even if they were to give one up, they've done as well as they did the first time, which was not well. I hope people can understand the sarcasm in my voice. Fed down low, nice stick there to get a piece of it. Chris O'Doherty got a piece, and the refs confer because the first ref did not think that O'Doherty got a piece of it.
Yeah, it skipped off O'Doherty, but it was very close to an Onondaga stick as well. And the one ref did indicate, and O'Doherty's saying he said blue, but they're going to confer on that and make sure they get it right.
Up high to Wayne Van Every. Van Every down on the wing. Shot wide. That's going to carry the midfield unless Van Every can get there, and no. And Van Every went behind the back to try to save it, whipped it into the bench. That does not endear you to the other team.
Clearly not intentional. He was just trying to get it back over
just trying
center.
to do anything he could.
Yeah.
Here's McArdle. So it's McArdle and Bowes and Donahue, the lefties. Bowes with an undermove. Nice save by Thompson. Bowes gets the ball back, resetting the clock. Bowes was on the wrong side, doesn't see the ball. It was right by his feet. McArdle comes and gets it. Kelly gets tied down. Amola, nice stop there by Thompson as Amola didn't wait.
That's interesting because Bowes went through the crease when then was the first man to receive the pass. The one official was indicating to the other to ask about it. And if a goal had been scored there, I think the Redhawks would have been very upset because that should have been blown down.
Fed in front. Donahue finishes that inside pass from Kieran McArdle, and it's 3-1 in favor of USA Blue.
And Onondaga probably not very happy still because that was the extended possession after the original shot went off Thompson and up out of play. And that should have been a possession call to the Redhawks. But they just couldn't catch each other's eye, it looked like, for the refs.
At the same time, if the ref thought he saw it, he needed to blow it.
Yeah,
let the other guy.
Not sure why he didn't just make the call.
You know, there are times when waiting might be the right thing to do, but nice draw there from Anthony Kelly. You know, I said that the other team had Trevor Baptiste. This team does have Anthony Kelly.
The other team also has Brendan Fowler.
Well, and as I said, Tim Edwards is taking draws.
Mm-hmm.
Off the toe. Recovered by
penalty coming. Edwards, in fact, has taken the majority of the draws for USA Blue.
Yeah, that was the first time we've seen Kelly. McArdle's lost his helmet. So we've got a cross-check call coming against Onondaga. They will be back in the box. And what it really means is that USA is going to be looking at a man up to start the second half because we're under 25 seconds remaining. Are you surprised they're not taking a timeout?
A little bit, yeah. I thought they might have just to get this going.
Here they are waiting. Here they are waiting, and what it's doing is killing the time. So 13 seconds left. Donahue got the ball over. Nice save by Thompson. He robbed Emola, who had picked up the loose ball on the wing and dived across. Couldn't get it in. You see Emola's frustration, takes a little swing there. But the U.S. not too frustrated. They have a 3-1 lead. They will have 47 seconds remaining in their man advantage. And Onondaga really has to get its offense organized a little bit more than we've seen. So we'll see if they can do that when we come back in 2 minutes. I'm Chuck Jaffe. I'm joined by Steven Stamp, and you are watching the Lax All-Stars North American Invitational Tournament from Onondaga Nation Arena, sponsored by Nike Lacrosse.
What is the future of sport? The next evolution of athlete? Well, we hypothesized that athletes will develop the sixth sense, if you will, extremely heightened instincts. If you look across the animal kingdom, a sixth sense is innate to many species. With the right tools, our athletes can acquire an inexplicable connection to see without seeing, to feel without feeling, to do things that for thousands of years didn't seem humanly possible.
At Sisu, we take a very scientific approach to making sure our technologically advanced, doctor-developed, scientifically backed, industry-changing mouthguards are the most protective, lightest, talkable, breathable, comfortable, drinkable, removable mouthguards on the planet to guarantee you're protected. No matter what comes your way, the Sisu Next Gen. Sisu, talk, breathe, drink.
Welcome back, lacrosse fans. Onondaga Nation Arena for the Lax All-Stars North American Invitational, brought to you by Nike Lacrosse. I'm Chuck Jaffe with Steven Stamp. Stamper, fun first half, very fun first half. USA kind of actually pretty relaxed here against Onondaga, whereas when we saw the Frog Pond Maulers game against USA White, that was very, very nervous. So, you know, everybody is gunning to try to be the one that knocks him out, because I don't know that the USA is the favorite here.
No, I would say Thompson brothers, probably the favorite again, but I think a lot of people would like to see a finals matchup between USA Blue and USA White. That would be for some intense and interesting action.
Yeah, because half of those guys aren't going to be on Team USA when the final team is announced. In front, McArdle can't put that on the frame.
And Warren Hill has taken over in net for Mike Thompson.
And he makes that save, but doesn't know where the ball is. Emola picks it up. Emola has taken to the box game very strongly. Loves playing him. He's still a very good field player. And he was saying before today's game, he's in the best shape he's ever been in.
When Hill got just enough of that, it pinged off the outside of the post. Goa Abrams has stayed in net for USA.
Have they been giving goalies whole games?
They've been switching at the half in every game. I was just going to say that's a departure. This is the first time either USA team has not switched at the half.
Well, of course, the USA changed the goalies it was going to be bringing to this tournament. The expectation and the rumor is that they're not done potentially looking at goalies. But Goa Abrams.
Intriguing.
So, you know, Joe Evans, a prominent U.S. goalie who plays in the Boston Box Lacrosse League, was on the roster and is not here. And they added 2 goalies to their roster and lost 2 that they had.
Who's the other one they lost? Because I know Stefan Schroeder is here. I was very impressed with him in Baltimore at the blue-white scrimmage. And he's not in this group.
Yes, but he is, well, how much credence do you give to rumors, but he is one of the goalies that is rumored to be talked about. As we have a breakaway here, Jared Newman, and he scores. Jared Newman, the Providence College product, runs the length of the floor. And Newman, really interesting kid. Great, really had no box experience, but made it very clear while he was in college that he wanted to get it, which actually got the NLL teams interested because he's such a physical specimen.
Colorado took him last year. You can see he's wearing a Mammoth helmet with his name on. He got far enough to get that helmet with the wrap. And I know he's someone they're very interested in the long term.
Just he has some God-given talents and gifts that you can't create. He's got that size and speed. We were talking about it when we were watching Colton Watkinson. Jared Newman's speed will remind you of Watkinson's and the same kind of size. Amala on the wing, cuts back, gets his hands free. Hill gets a piece of it.
Yeah, penalty coming as the Onondaga defender just almost grabbed Amala by the throat as he cut through.
Well, Amala did a little shake and bake, but he got called for a cross-check, not the hold. I thought this happened off ball. I saw the same thing you saw.
Yeah.
As Amala did a little shake and bake and the defender grabbed him. I thought that's where the penalty was coming.
And the hands went up when the grab happened. It must have been pretty much simultaneous.
But I think they called it off the ball. Andrew Spack gets the call against him. Amala gets that, finishes the feed from Marty Bowes. And I can say that's two players who play for the Blazers in the Boston Box Lacrosse League, which is a league I know well because I'm involved with it. But what you're watching there is two guys who have progressed to be able to carry their game, who when they came out of college, they hadn't said anything about I want to play at the next level. Both of them will be in camp for NLL teams this year. So they've been working to try to get their game to that level.
You were mentioning earlier that USA Blue seemed fairly relaxed. They really seem to be having fun. And this is probably the first time I've seen one of the USA teams kind of back off on the intensity, the seriousness of it. They're still playing hard. They're still going hard. But the first time they've really been like, let's just enjoy this process.
Well, because once they get through this game, if they were to lose, if they're losing to a Thompson Brothers team, nobody's really surprised by it. Nobody's necessarily happy about it, but they're not surprised by it. Oh, they say that he stepped in the crease. Hyper-athletic play there, but it's not going to count. On the crease dive. Beautiful play. Nice recovery in front.
That's a lovely play by Jared Newman. Under pressure, back to his teammate to make the little pass into space where he knew it was safe.
Kelly can't convert this one.
Again, he lands in the crease, but again, that's not a pass you want your defender to make running into the corner unless he's completely aware of where everyone is and he knows he can make that pass. So the sense of where the entire floor was laid out, pretty impressive for Newman.
Yeah, Newman, another one. Again, it's that you get the Americans who don't realize that they want to play box lacrosse because they haven't played box lacrosse until they get to that college level. Shot wide by Kogan. So they're saying there's a reset and they let the ball keep playing. Why did Donnie Moss pick that up with 1 second on the shot clock? Oh, kick save by Warren Hill. Denies Dylan Donahue. Penalty coming. Goa Abrams comes to the bench, and by the time he gets here, they turn around and make him go back. Bowes down low. Donahue and up high, McArdle. Headman pass, trying to hit the guy coming out of the box is Wayne Van Every. He trags it down. Makes a nice move to beat Newman. The ball comes away, and here's Marty Bowes. Bowes in transition. Gets himself some angle. Stick kick save by Warren Hill. But a rebound out for the U.S. with a fresh clock. And they still have 23 seconds on the man up, so they reset things. Here's Donahue.
And great wheels and hustle by Mitch White coming out. Bose appeared to recognize that he had someone coming. He had to rush his shot just a little bit.
Well, Bo's in an interesting position because he's playing forward here. But his best chance to make this team is as a transition player. He knows that. So do the coaches, and they've told him, but they need him to play forward for this team to compete as the ball comes ahead. Nice save by Abrams and a penalty coming on the back end of it. So that's Andrew Spack. A nice play to have the breakout, showed some good wheels getting ahead of the pack. And they call a penalty shot because they're saying that the USA player left early to be able to avoid the break.
That's Dominique Alexander, I believe, number 9.
Well, Dominique Alexander was playing the ball. That's what we thought was coming to the box. I'm not sure that that's who left early. But Wayne Van Every takes the penalty shot. Comes in from the left. Kick save by Abrams.
A quick shot by Van Every trying to catch Goa Abrams off guard. And almost worked, but Go Abrams, he's a larger goaltender, but you can see moves his feet fairly well for his size.
You know, it's the interesting side there. When I see a quick shot, I like to see the guy be a little more direct, and he took that long looping side.
Yeah.
When you take the looping side, I think you want to slow it down. When you take the quick shot, I think you want to be coming straight in, find your spot, don't let the goalie react, and just pick it and ping it.
And Brett Manning alertly pointing to the clock, letting the refs know that the clock has not started, which I think it probably should have started after the completion of the penalty shot. I guess you have to wait until the next faceoff. That's an interesting one with a running time where you don't really have a lot of situations that it's happening. When would it start after the penalty shot?
Well, with 7
they started
minutes and
it on
4
the
seconds
faceoff
remaining, and that would have been a big opportunity for the Redhawks if they're going to get back into this game. But quite honestly, the Redhawks, they sort of look like what they are. They are a young team. They are a young team playing guys who are playing at a high-stakes level. McArdle can't can that one.
And Warren Hill just froze for a while, as a goalie should do when he's not sure where that ball is, and then that pass just emailed.
And I think you've got to
airmailed.
I think you can't really fault as that pass from Abrams goes into the stands. You know, you had that breakaway by McArdle. McArdle was really coming out the box. He's the wrong player for that. And that particular breakaway, you wanted to send a righty.
Yes. And that's just an error in preparation on the bench, not being ready to have a right-hander coming out.
But that's the kind of thing that you'd hope that the coaches understand and are reading the play and doing it right. So Kelly has not had many shifts because he's mostly a face-off guy. He's a big shot from the outside. He's staying and playing this offensive shift. He tries to play some defense there and has to head to the bench. Little activity behind the play, and there's a goal for the Redhawks. The Onondaga Redhawks pocket that one.
And I think about half the crowd was watching Anthony Kelly engaging behind the play. I think it was Luke Thompson he was getting involved with. And
they missed Andrew Spack.
They did.
And his play at the front end. Spack has been a nice addition to this team. He has not played in a game until this one. It was him and Mike Thompson were the additions to their roster before this game. And for folks at home who go, wait, there was an addition to the roster or what have you, you should understand that this tournament, because it starts on a Thursday, there are a lot of teams, not the USA teams, of course, but a lot of the other teams where they have a lineup that's here on Thursday and playing some of those games, and then they're getting more of their players as the weekend progresses.
As guys are available with work commitments and what have you. Obviously, like you said, not an issue for the U.S. This is their national team tryout. They are committed to this.
But for many of the other teams, and we saw it in the last game as well, where Ron John has been added to the Thompson brothers. So, and another one inside.
Beautiful
so now
spin
it's a
move.
2-goal game.
And Goa Abrams clamped his legs together like he thought that the shot was going 5-hole, but it actually comes to the near post and skips off the edge of his pads.
Dwayne Porter with that goal. So it's a 2-goal game with 4 minutes remaining. Clock is running, and it will run until there are 2 minutes remaining.
A good example of what you're talking about with the rosters is the goalie for the Thompson brothers the first day was Miles Thompson until Warren Hill was available. So Heine Thompson has actually played net in the past. Kevin Orleman, sorry.
Warren Hill's playing in this game.
Here. But
Edwards can't come away with the draw. Driven into the sideboards, Matt Noble. A little extracurricular activities here. So there's some pushing and shoving in the corner. I believe that they are discussing where to go after the game. Of course, the Redhawks have the home field advantage, so they would know which bars to go to.
The refs stopped the clock so they can sort this out. And it was Spack. You talked about the energy he's brought. He was the one who raced in to make sure that his team was well represented in whatever fracas arose. Onondaga has actually taken the time out here.
Well, and a good move, especially if it winds up keeping them out of the box. If they can calm things down.
It was actually last year Miles Thompson started in net and was then replaced by
Warren Hill.
Actually, 2 years ago, Miles Thompson started and was replaced by Warren Hill. Last year, he started and then was replaced by another goaltender. And then this year, I guess Miles said, Heine, it's your turn. Or sorry, the other way. Heine said, oh, Miles, it's your turn. Because it was Heine for 2 years that started in there. I've got it. It was Heine for 2 years. This year, Miles Thompson.
So for all that pushing and shoving, there are no penalties called.
So Onondaga without a timeout now, coming down the stretch. The USA Blue still has one in this second half.
Yes, and in fact, that's what the ref was just reminding the USA coaches of. So Onondaga comes out. Up high, it's got Butcher Elm at the point. Van Every was down low. And Cree Cathers. So it's Cree Cathers, Van Every, and Butcher Elm. Those are the lefties. Down low on the right, it is Kogan. So Cathers' pass doesn't get handled. Adam Osika was looking for whether he was supposed to go or stay. And he paid that off. Well, he was literally looking, should he be going towards the net? And they told him to go.
They also, Chris Schiller, the D coach, was telling everyone else to stay. The defense to stay back, and Osika played forward for the first day for USA Blue until some of the other lefties, like Kieran McCardle, were able to arrive. So a lot of shifting around of players, and Osika shows why he was one of the guys they moved up with those hands.
Well, yeah, Osika could play forward on this team. It was going to be him or Marty Bowes that was going to have to be doing this as they needed it. Both of them would be considered transition players. So now it's Dominique Alexander gets that ball across. And now the USA will play a little bit of the time game. Bowes has it. Now McCardle over to Emila. Emila, nice pick to get Connor Kelly free. Kelly gets the loose ball. 3 on the shot clock. Okay, so do you take that shot into the belly of the goalie, or do you throw it into the corner and hope you waste more time that way?
I'd throw it at the feet of the goalie, try and bounce it off and see if you can get a reset. But
okay,
use the hard leg pads to try and get a bounce.
Here's Osika with the ball, taking his time. 1:46. Emila with the ball. Runs away from the double team. Now Dylan Donahue. And Onondaga needs to extend. They need to get the ball back at this point with 1:30 remaining in regulation. Bowes runs away from trouble. 4 on the shot clock. Misses everything with that. So here come the Redhawks.
One factor, these games are only 30 minutes, but this is the 4th one they've played in 2 days. So a little fatigue could be a factor.
Redhawks needing to make something happen here. Dwayne Porter gets that ball off, and there's your goal for Van Every. Van Every with the worm burner. Not that there are any worms to burn on the turf, but he manages to slide that one through Goa Abrams, and it's a 2-goal game.
Perfect angle from where we stand, and like the camera angle that would have shown that just skipping between the feet and Goa Abrams dropping to his knees to try and make that save on the low shot actually opened up that bit of space. And that's always the question as you're dropping. The timing is so important. You got to get, if you're going down, you got to get down in time.
Well, that's why you sometimes see the goalies who basically they've sat on their stick, because what they're trying to do is sort of have their cake and eat it too on that play. So Newman comes away. Edwards comes away with the ball for Team USA. One minute remaining in regulation. Team USA with a 2-goal lead and possession. And in our last game, we saw that possession at this point is more important than a score. Not that they wouldn't take one. Fed across. Bose can't convert the feed from Connor Kelly. So Warren Hill goes to the bench. The Redhawks. Van Every shoots it, gets a piece. Does Abrams. So it will stay. Remember, we are in stop time. 30 seconds remaining. About that much on the shot clock. Van Every, and he scores. Wayne Van Every from the outside completes his hat trick. It's a 1-goal game with 25.6 seconds remaining.
And Van Every absolutely sold Jared Newman on that low fake after having scored with the worm burner last time. Hard fake, then goes back over the top and bounces it past Abrams. That's a gorgeous shot. Abrams and Van Every both with some history with the Rochester Nighthawks, having played together on their practice squad, and Van Every getting into a few games active as well, but they've known each other for a while.
So here's Anthony Kelly, who is here to take draws. That's his job. Needs to win this one, and he does. Can he control it? He does. Surprise with the USA, and they do take a timeout. So the USA did exactly what it needed to, taking the time out there.
And some nice composure by the U.S. Anthony Kelly, who's no stranger to getting involved in some chippiness, in some rough stuff, just walks off the floor. Even if someone's trying to grab his face mask, he knows there's 20 seconds left. A little while ago, actually, leaving the floor, Eli Gobrecht had been knocked down, got up, and was circling towards the Onondaga bench, and I thought, that's not a good idea, but he went straight to the U.S. bench, avoiding any contact. Nice discipline.
Well, the question would be, what would happen if they weren't wearing a red, white, and blue uniform? Because there is a little something to be said for if you show that you are willing to occasionally take the dumb penalty. In the NLL, they don't want it, but they might tolerate it. They'll say, protect yourself, etc. When it's going to be Team USA and they're making decisions, you are cutting yourself if you do that. Yeah. I mean, it was interesting here. You had Kelly, who is the slowest guy on Team USA, winning the ball, getting it out to himself, and sort of looking, going, as he's running by the bench, waiting for them to call the timeout.
He also barely got it. It did bounce away from him for a moment.
So Kelly splits the double team. Nice pick there to get him free. 15 seconds left. They can, of course, kill the clock. Dominique Alexander with the ball. Takes it to the corner. This should do it. Alexander goes behind, gets met there, and he runs out the clock, and Team USA will advance with a 6-5 win over the Onondaga Redhawks. This was a fun one. Both Team USA games, the last two, very close. And as we said, it's everybody's feather in the cap if they could be the ones to take out Team USA's here.
Now, Team USA Blue got up 5-1 in this one, though. We talked about how they were getting kind of relaxed, having some fun. That went away pretty quickly as the Onondaga Redhawks came back. That's a huge result for this Redhawks team, and 4 straight one-goal quarterfinal matches.
Yeah, well, that's why the talent comes here, because they know that you're going to get the good games. The early games, some of them, they're sort of seeding it out and sorting it out, and you have a couple of blowouts. But when you get down to crunch time, there are a lot of people who can crunch here. And so this was a game that had its fun moments and its crunchy moments, and we've got more to come from the Lax All-Stars North American Invitational. So we hope you will stick around. Coming up next, it is the Pros versus Joes game here. Steven Stamp and I will be back to call it in just a moment. You are watching the 2018 LAS NAI tournament, brought to you by Nike Lacrosse.
What is the future of sport? The next evolution of athlete? Well, we hypothesized that athletes will develop the sixth sense, if you will. Extremely heightened instincts. If you look across the animal kingdom, a sixth sense is innate to many species. With the right tools, our athletes can acquire an inexplicable connection to see without seeing, to feel without feeling, to do things that for thousands of years didn't seem humanly possible.
At Sisu, we take a very scientific approach to making sure our technologically advanced, doctor-developed, scientifically backed, industry-changing mouthguards are the most protective, lightest, talkable, breathable, comfortable, drinkable, removable mouthguards on the planet to guarantee you're protected. No matter what comes your way, the Sisu Next Gen. Sisu, talk, breathe, drink.
What is the future of sport? The next evolution of athlete? Well, we hypothesized that athletes will develop the sixth sense, if you will. Extremely heightened instincts. If you look across the animal kingdom, a sixth sense is innate to many species. With the right tools, our athletes can acquire an inexplicable connection to see without seeing, to